Hi everyone, my name is Elisha Kim Daniel Di Bantolino and I will be showing you how I solved this word problem. Our word problem is Hazel bought the square root of 72 pounds of cassava to make a cassava cake. She only used the square root of 50 pounds. How much cassava does she have left? Since it states in the problem that she used the square root of 50 pounds, that means we must subtract the square root of 50 pounds from the square root of 72. Since both 72 and 50 are not perfect squares, then we have to separate them. We can write the square root of 72 as the square root of 36 times 2, and then we can write the square root of 50 to the square root of 25 times 2. So now we have to simplify, and it will become 6 times the square root of 2 minus 5 times the square root of 2. Now that they are similar, we can subtract, and the final answer will be the square root of 2.
In a basketball game, Aldrin scored 4 times the square root of 4, Archie scored square root of 4 points, and Edwin scored 3 times the square root of 4 points. How many points did they get altogether? In this word problem, our given are 4 times the square root of 4, the square root of 4, and 3 times the square root of 4. The operation that we are going to use is addition. So first, we are going to find the square root of 4. But what is the square root of 4? The possible square root of 4 is 2. So, 4 times the square root of 4 plus the square root of 4 plus 3 times the square root of 4. Since the square root of 4 is 2, we are going to multiply 4 times 2 plus 2 plus 3 times 2. So, we will have 4 times 2 equals 8 plus 2 plus 3 times 2 equals 6. So therefore, they have 16 points altogether.
Hello, my name is Macarena Tizon, and today I'll show you how to solve the second problem in elective. In the basketball game, Aldrin scored 4 times the square root of 4. RJ scored the square root of 4, and Edwin scored 3 times the square root of 4. How many points did the three scored altogether? So in this problem, we need to add all of their scores together so we could answer the question. The first step is to get the square root of 4, which is 2. Second step is to multiply 4 and 2 to get 8. Third step is to find the square root of the second term and add it to 8. The answer will be 10. Moving on to the fourth step, find the square root of the last term. In the fifth step, multiply 3 and 2 to get 6. And lastly, add 10 and 6 to get the final answer 16. So the answer to this question is 16. That's all, and I hope you learned something new today. Bye!
Hi ma'am, I'm Trisha Miller Izamora from 7 Mendeleev, and I was assigned to explain the given of number 3, which is Maki needs to construct 400-word essay for his assignment. He had already written 100 times the square root of 9 words. How many words does he need to complete the essay? Before we start, we should think what operation we will use. And since our given is Maki needs a 400-word essay, and also the progress he had already started was a 100 times the square root of 9 words, so our operation will be subtraction. Therefore, our equation is 400 minus 100 times the square root of 9. Then, we will simplify the square root of 9. To find the square root of 9, we will list down the perfect squares. 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, and 3 times 3 is 9. We're gonna write 3. We are just gonna replace 9 by 3. So,
400 minus 100 times 3. Then, we will follow the PEMDAS rule. 100 times 3 is 300. Then we will bring down 400. 400 minus 300 is 100. Therefore, Maki needs 100 words to complete the essay. That's all. Thank you.
So hi ma'am, ito po yung explanation ko po dun sa number 3. Ang problem po natin sa number 3 is, Maki needs to construct a 400-word essay for his assignment. He had already written 100 times the square root of 9 words. How many words does he need to complete the essay? Now, ang una po natin iisipin po, isa na pong operation po ang ating gagamitin po para sa problem. Now, since given po yung target po ni Maki, which is 400 words, given rin po yung kanyang progress, which is 100 times the square root of 9 words, ang gagawin po natin is pagmaminus po natin yung 400 and yung 100 times the square root of 9 po. So, subtraction po ang gagawin po natin. Kung susulat po natin yun po ay magiging 400 minus 100 times the square root of 9. Now, kung titingnan po natin po, ang 9 po, ito, ay, siya po ay isang perfect square. Now, ang square root po ng 9 naman po is 3. So, pwede po natin isulat na 100 times 3 po. So, kung isasolve po natin to, or pag times na po muna natin, yung 103 po, which will be 300. So, ang gagawin pa natin yun is pagmaminus po natin ang 400 at ang 300. Ito po. So, 400 minus 300 is 100. Now, 100 po nakuha natin. And to check po kung tama po na ang nakuha natin sagot po, ipag-add po natin siya doon po sa progress po ni Maki, which is 100 times the square root of 9 words. Now, since na po natin na 100 times the square root of 9 is 300, 300 na po ang ating isusulat po dito. So, 300 plus 100 po ang ating equation po ngayon. So, kung isasolve po natin to, 300 plus 100 is equal to 400. So, which means po, tama po yung ating sagot po kasi po, ang nakuha po natin dito sa 300 plus 100 is yung target po ni Maki po na words, which is 400 po. Thank you po.
Afternoon, ako si Troy Adam D. Visaya at tuturuan ko kayo kung paano gumawa ng radical expression. So, ito yung given. Negative 3 times square root of 11 minus 2 times square root of 44 minus 5 times square root of 10. So, anong gagawin? Una, ikakopy yung negative 3 times square root of 11. Tapos, ipaghati mo yung 44 sa 4 at 11 kasi 44 divided by 4 is 11 para ma-divide, para ma-plus o minus pala natin yung 3 times square root of 11. Tapos, i-copy natin yung negative 5 times square root of 10. Pagkatapos, gawin natin
So this is my answer to number 6. Our given is negative 2 times the square root of 20 plus 2 times the square root of 45 minus the square root of 5. So first we're going to find the square root of 20, and so we're gonna have 4 and 5, and then we're gonna simplify the 4 and it will become 2 times the square root of 5. We're going to do the same for the square root of 45. So square root of 9 and square root of 5, and we're gonna simplify the 9, and then we're gonna get 3 times the square root of 5. So after that, we're going to multiply these numbers with these numbers. So negative 2 times 2 and 2 times 3. And after you multiply them, we're gonna get the numbers negative 4 and then 6. And after that, we're going to add them together. So that will be 2, and we're just going to copy the square root of 5 here, and this is the final answer.
Hi everyone, I am Rachel Michael Vimalion and I will be explaining the given of number 7. So my given is 4 times the third root of 81 plus 2 times the third root of 72 minus 3 times the third root of 24. This given doesn't have any similar terms, but we can still simplify it. So we simplify our first term. Our first term is 4 times the third root of 81. We just have to bring down 4. And since 81 doesn't have any third root, we have to find two different factors, which is 24 and 3. And now we simplify our second term. Our second term is 2 times the third root of 72. We bring down 2. Since 72 doesn't have any third root, we have to find two different factors, which is 8 and 9. And lastly, we have to simplify our third term. Our third term is negative 3 times the third root of 24. We have to bring down negative 3. And since 24 doesn't have any third root, we have to find two different factors, which is 8 and 3. Then we multiply. 4 times the third root of 24, which is 3 times the third root of 3, plus 2 times the third root of 8, which is 2 times the third root of 9. Then minus 3 times the third root of 8, which is 2 times the third root of 3. Then we multiply. 4 times 3 is 12. Bring down 3, the third root of 3. Plus 2 times 2 is 4. Bring down the third root of 9. Negative 3 times 2 equals negative 6. And bring down the third root of 3. We just have to combine our similar terms, which is 12 times the third root of 3 and negative 6 times the third root of 3. When we combine them, our answer will be 6 times the third root of 3 plus bring down 4 times the third root of 9, and that will be our final answer.
For number 8, for the equation negative 3 times the 6th root of 3 minus 2 times the 6th root of 192 minus the 6th root of 320, we first need to ensure that the index and the radicand are the same. And since the radicand are not the same, we simplify its radical. And since negative 3 times the 6th root of 3 cannot be simplified, we will leave it as it is. And then we move on to the next radical, which is 2 times the 6th root of 192. And since 192 does not have a 6th root, we find its square root instead, which is 64.3, which will give us 2 times the 6th root of 64.3. And then for our last radical, which is the 6th root of 320, and since 320 also does not have a 6th root, we find its square root instead, which is 64.5. And since 64 has a sixth root, which is 2, we move it outside, and since we have a 2 as a whole number in the second radical, we multiply 2 times 2, which will give us 4. And since for the last radical, we also have a 64, it will also become 2 and be moved outside, which will leave us with the equation negative 3 times the 6th root of 3 minus 4 times the 6th root of 3 minus 2 times the 6th root of 5. And since negative 3 times the 6th root of 3 minus 4 times the 6th root of 3 both have the same index and radicand, we will subtract them, which will leave us with negative 7 times the 6th root of 3. And since 2 times the 6th root of 5 does not have the same radicand, it will be copied, and the answer would be negative 7 times the 6th root of 3 minus 2 times the 6th root of 5.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Irish James Heraliano from grade 7 Mendeleev, now presenting operations in radical expressions for quarter 4, lesson 3. Our given is 2 times the cube root of 6 minus the 6th root of 6 plus 3 times the cube root of 6 minus 3 times the 6th root of 384, which is my given for number 9. Our equation is just we arranged it for standard form, which is 2 times the cube root of 6 plus 3 times the cube root of 6 minus 3 times the 6th root of 384 minus the 6th root of 6 is equals to question mark or M. Solution is just we need to simplify the 6th root of 384, separate them from the two factors, which is 64 and 6, using the second law of simplifying. Now, we must simplify the 6th root of 64, and we got 2. So, 2 times the cube root of 6 plus 3 times the cube root of 6 minus 3 times 2 times the 6th root of 6 minus the 6th root of 6. We just need to combine like terms. This now equals to 5 times the cube root of 6 minus 6 times the 6th root of 6 minus the 6th root of 6 now equals to our final answer, 5 times the cube root of 6 minus 7 times the 6th root of 6. Thank you for listening.